What's guys? Back on me is here. We got Smallville, Season 4, Episode 11, Unsafe. Okay, so this episode starts off at the town, and these two girls are trying to ask Clark out, and he goes to Martha, and he's like, I'm on, and she's like, those girls are really into you, but he's like, I, I don't want to be with someone who I have to lie to. So then we switch over to Bellary or this place, and we see these doctors, and they're like, hey, do you really want to let that psycho out again? And yeah, and then he's like, hey, Alicia, it's time. You can leave. And yeah, so what does Alicia do? She goes to Clark's house, and she goes to Clark's house, and they're saying that Alicia Baker wears a lead bracelet to keep herself from using her teleporting abilities, and yeah, so yeah, and Jonathan and Martha, they aren't trusting of her. They're like, oh, remember last time Alicia Baker was in town? She tried to kill you. She tried to kill you with kryptonite and kill Lana. And she's like, and Clark's like, yeah, but she's different now. So yeah, yeah, so yeah. After walking out of their relationship, Lana meets up with Jason, and Jason's and was like, Jason's like, this isn't a good place to discuss our relationship right now, Lana. So yeah, so yeah, so Alicia and Clark, they go to an ice cold rink, and that's when and then she's she, she's like, hey, we can go in. Her therapist is like, hey, remember when your psychotic break was because of Clark, and you need to stay away from him. She's like, hey, Clark, my therapist, my psychologist, psychologist showed up, and he said I need to stay away from you. And he's like, oh, and he's like, yeah, we need. What if we go and is Vegas, and it's like we're so yeah. So what does Alicia do? She goes into school. She we see she takes a ring. She takes a ring with red kryptonite, and you think she's gonna use red kryptonite on the red kryptonite ring on Clark, but no, she breaks it and just takes the red kryptonite itself. So for Clark. So yeah. So so yeah. So yeah. So Alicia and Clark. Alicia's like, hey Clark, I got a necklace for you, but she doesn't thought it was made over kryptonite. So when he puts it on, bad boy Clark is back, and they just start making out. They sleep together and a bunch of all that stuff. And he's like, will you marry me, Alicia? And she's like, yeah, but I know this is a show, but Clark being 17 can't marry her without. I just read this, and it says that Clark can't marry her because of him being 17 and no being parental guardian around to sign form. So, but yeah, they get married anyway. But when, but yeah, but for some reason she thinks. Yeah, here's the one problem with Alicia. Sorry, you say Alicia's plan. She takes off the red meteor rock necklace off of Clark. She's like, I want more of you, Clark Kent, and takes it off of him, and that returns him back to his normal self, and he's like, OMG, what did you just do? And she's like, I wanted to be with you. Anyone would took. And he's like, how you know what kryptonite does to me? And she's like, because I know you, Clark. And yeah, so now we get to the last stuff. Actually, I'll finish up Clark and Alicia's story for this episode. So Lana, after that confrontation with Jason, thinks that the only way to get him back is to sleep with him. So yeah, Chloe talks to her and she's like, I met this guy named Jimmy Olsen. Because she told Clark didn't mean anything, but she actually likes Jimmy Olsen, and yeah, his name is Jimmy, and we only know one Jimmy in the Superman lore is Jimmy Olsen. So Chloe kind of met Jimmy Olsen at Dairy Planet during the summer of season 2. So yeah, but when Clark gets home, Martha is surprisingly mad at him. She's like, I'm disappointed in you. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, which is out of character for her because she knows what kryptonite does to him. So why is she mad at him? She knows what it does to him. She knows that it makes him out of control and makes him a wild person. But she's mad at him. Martha, you picked the wrong day to be mad at Clark because this is not those days and you know what it does to him. So, but anyway, yeah, and he's like, and yeah. So yeah, so the doctor comes back and he's like, hey Clark, and he's like, hey Clark, I've come to take Alicia back. She needs more treatment. And obviously you took her to Las Vegas and kidnapped her. But then Alicia appears and she's like, it's not Clark's fault. Not Clark's fault. And he's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, it's not his fault. He didn't do it. And he's like, I've done some research on you, Clark. And it's about to hit a bullet at him when it hits her and yeah. And for some reason it hits her, but she's still alive. So good that she's still alive because I'm kind of liking her. I'm kind of liking Alicia. So yeah, and she swears to Clark as long as she lives, she will never reveal Clark's secret. And yeah, so and 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 Jason's like to Lana. She's like, maybe my mom. Jason's like to Lana. Maybe our meeting wasn't on accident. Maybe my mom set it up. And basically, that concludes the events of this episode. Okay, I really enjoyed this episode. It may be one of the best, not one of the best, but it's really good. It's interesting. Cause yeah, it shows like I never thought to see Alicia Baker back. I can't believe she resorted to red kryptonite. And her taking it off, like, didn't she know taking it off returns Clark back to normal? I don't know, but anyway, what really confuses me about this episode is Martha's reaction. I guess she's mad at Clark. Like that a normal person would be. But she knows what red kryptonite does to him. It makes him rebellious, makes him doesn't have any ambitions. So why are you mad at him, Martha? You know what it does, but you're still mad at him. I know it's a show, and I know that my whole Clark and Alicia shouldn't have got married. They must have bought a wedding chapel off screen, booked a wedding off screen without no one's consent. But yeah, so yeah, like, comment, subscribe if we guys have more for night. I'll see you next Smallville. And also, got a Deadpool shirt now. Deadpool. So that's all I'll be wearing in my next video. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.